Well, it's not Uber with a B, it's actually UVA. So I found the plant finally. This is it here, as you remember from the video. Whoops. And finally I found it because I was looking at UBA. And then I thought it was Uva Ursi because it's actually spelled the same. Espera un momento. Sorry, I just had someone talking to me here. So, you know, I thought it was Uber UBA, and then I thought, oh, and then this came up when we changed it to UVA, and we searched UVA China after Uber Ursi, so it's not Uber Ursi. Okay. I'm going to close those down. That's Uber Ursi there. So that's a different one. And then we realized it wasn't a Chinese one. So this is not an appropriate article. And then we realized it's a Japanese variety or plant, and it's called Uva Japonesa. Well, I don't know what this is, if that's the end of the name. Parasal. Let's have a look what that means. Don't know what that means. Parasal. Sorry, I'm recording a video here for YouTube, please. So I don't know what that means off the end there, but this is the name of the tree anyway. You'll find it using this. Not sure what that part means right now. Don't want to sit here for a while. There's some more details. Oh, you have to log in to see the details of that. This might be other names here. By the looks of it, these are other names for it. So Hovenia Dulcis, Banana do Japão. Yeah, it's really a tasty little fruit. That it's like an apple, not a banana really, but they call it banana here or something. What's going on? Well, that's what came up. You know, you do get one image there, but that's what's come up for Banana do Japão, because obviously the search word banana is going to interfere. But these are other names, obviously, so if you live in another country, you would want to search under one of these. Dulcis means like sweet, and they're definitely sweet fruit. I just really would like to find some information here. Here we go. Excellent. Let's go here. Scientific review on the usage. Japanese raisin tree. Oh, okay. So it makes really good champagne, and it's called the Japanese raisin tree then. Oh, awesome. You learn something new every day. It's a source of dihydromercetin. So that sounds like a amino acid or something. Ampelopsin, and has traditionally been used as an anti-alcohol herb and hangover cure. Definitely if you ate it after getting drunk, because it rehydrates you. It's got quite a lot of hydration in it. At least one human study has noted that when taken before drinking, it can reduce circulating levels of alcohol. I wonder how they found that out. Okay, let's click into that. Let's see. This is a good article then, because it's got the dosage and how to take the actual fruit, so you can dose yourself appropriately. It's good not to guess. There are estimated human doses based on rat studies. Can you walk over there, please? Not yell in my video. Fuck. On rat studies, it's uncertain if they are optimal dosage or not. Blah blah blah. Okay. Okay, so they are used in Chinese medicine, in Japan, Korea, and the Himalayas. So it seems they're pretty well known as the Japanese raisin tree then, by the sounds of how they're talking about it. Oh, there's another variety. Both variants of Dulcis and Acerba have been used as medicinal plants. Nice, that's what I wanted to hear. And this is the part we want to discover. We want to see if it's got medicinal uses, so we don't just, you know, bulldoze it over and lose another cure and have everyone whinging how sick they are. Alright, so it's got dihydroflavonols called Hoveniatins. Alright, the dihydroflavanol, dihydromercitin, so it's a flavanol, also known as ampelopsin, and a similar structure to, yeah, that's what I thought, myricetin, one of the many bioflavonoids. It's not an amino acids. Anyway, usually investigated as being more involved with osteoporotic effects and bone health than other flavonoids like camphorol or quercetin. So this one's better for bone health. Quercetin's probably better for the heart, and a lot of you have those quercetin pills when I visit your houses. Steroidal saponins. Now the saponins, they clean stuff too, so I don't know if that's this class, but laricitrin, no idea what that is, or what that does. Gallocatechin, it's like a cat, so that might be an antioxidant, yeah. Catechins, cool. So there's some pretty good effects already. That's interesting. Alright, even the molecular structure. Stereo structures. Seeds, fructose, from the seeds and the fruit. Alright, interaction with the liver and alcohol when administered to the rats reduce the circulating alcohol level. Administered either 30 minutes before, after, or simultaneously with the alcohol, it showed most efficacy when taken 30 minutes prior. So it's better when you take it first. Reduces any bad effects of alcohol. Well, not everything, but it helps. So, influence measured liver enzymes, so it increases the enzyme action. Either beneficial reduce noise. First metabolite. Ethanol is metabolized to its first metabolite, acylhydride. Can't even say that anymore. Been a while since I've been making videos on these plants. It's going to be good to get back into it. So it's got really good enzyme, well, it's got enzymatical action. In this study, the fruits of Mori albae, as well as Alpanea katsumadae and Dolichorus seeds, were able to attenuate the reductions of ADH and ALDH, these enzymes. Right. Administered 2 hours before ethanol daily for 6 weeks was able to prevent the formation of fatty liver and significantly reduced ALT, AST and YGT levels relative to the ethanol group, so that they were not significantly different in control. This study also noted a normalization of serum triglycerides and hepatic glutathione. Oh, that's good. Superoxide dismutase and catalase. Or is that meant to be catalase with an A missing? Associated with Hovenia dulcis, vinegar and water extracts, although the levels of antioxidant enzymes were still lower than non-ethanol control. And histological examination of the liver suggested it was not complete protection, but merely a degree of protective effects. Well, it's pretty much like that with every plant, mostly. And the idea is to synergize and eat a lot of different plants, and then you get a lot of degree of protective effects from different plants, which makes a large degree of protection. That's the idea, in my opinion. Eat plants every day. Okay. So immunology and inflammation. When tested in vitro in the little petri dish, the saponins Hovenia side A1 and A2 glycosides appear to inhibit histamine release. Well, that's really good. Histamine is inflammation related from, so it's not exactly nuclear factor kappa beta, the master inflammatory molecule, but it's about the same. It's histamine, it's very common and kind of high level in my opinion. An anti-allergenic mechanism, basically it has, okay. That's good. One animal study attempting to find toxicity failed to find any side effects associated with oral doses, up to 22 grams per kilogram in mice, 36 times higher than the highest active dose tested. So no toxicity. Interesting. Well, there you go. That was a really good article and a lot of references there. So I'm glad we made this video and we found it finally. So, hunting for the Uva Japonesa or Hovenia Dulcis has succeeded. We found it. We found it by hunting on Google. Oh wow. Okay. Well, I think that's enough information on it anyway. I mean, you can just go back to this article or go back over the video, but so let's kind of go back over it. It's got antioxidation, saponins. I'm not sure what this thing is. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, hold on. Well, that's in that article anyway. Laracetrin. I'm going to Google it. Let's just finish up with Googling this. So it's got flavanols, it's got some cleaning action. What else did it have? It had anti-inflammatory action and major action against alcohol. So that's really what I would want to emphasize in this video, what to use Uva de Japo for, or Hovenia dulcis, Japanese Uva, which is not Uva ursi. This is a completely different plant. Uva ursi is not what we're talking about. So it seems the Hovenia dulcis Uva Japanese is good for alcohol protection on the liver. That's good, because we have an alcohol society. Well, alcohol's legal, and cannabis is not. Everywhere anyway. Lucky I'm in Uruguay, so I got the legal cannabis in 2018. I'm not sure. Is that just a molecule, or now they're saying this is another plant? M. nutans, Lara. I don't want to go into another plant here. Well, this is a different plant. Anyway, let's just end it there. That's alright. We know what it's called now. We've got all the names here. Pasa do Japo, Pasa Japonesa, pau-doce. Not pau-diaco, but pau-doce. Caju, like cashew Japanese. Okay. Well, that's it then. So we did find it. Let's have a look at a few images. Let's see, look. Oh, is that it? Well, you saw how big the tree grows in my first video anyway, on the Uber. Let's have a quick look in here. Oh, we did already, didn't we? Oh, no, we didn't. fighting parasitic infections, stabilizing blood sugar levels as well. So if you've got blood sugar problems, which can happen from alcohol as well because it's carbohydrates. Treats hepatitis C. Okay, we don't have to mention what hep C is. If you don't know what hep C is, look into it. And the hangover cure, without withdrawal, it treats treats alcohol withdrawal syndrome without too much pain, I would add, because it's a fruit that's got a lot of water in it, so it's gonna relax you and move your body, your viscera outward, relaxed, not inward and contracted. I find bad foods like synthetic, I find acidic foods, nuts, roots, muscle and seeds, all the acidic foods, I find they move my body inward in a contracted viscera state, and things that are alkaline and good for you, like not synthetic and hurting the body, always make my viscera like expand. And that's one way I tell if a food is good or if I want to have it, if I want to stay on it. So if you take this as a sort of like getting off alcohol, you know, quitting sort of alcohol thing, it would be, I think, one of the best things you could do, because obviously it's going to have some nutrition. Like I said in my first video, it's going to have the outside, which is really mineral rich, and then you've got all these compounds as well that we've been, you know, discussing here for the last half an hour. So you get nutrition, and the water content of it is really good, and so sorry, I was distracted by everyone around here. So I think it'd be a really good idea to quit alcohol on the Uva Japon, because it would make you get the outward viscera motion and you feel alkalized and you feel good, so you don't feel trapped in the addiction cycle as much, like you have to go back to it, and it spreads, you know, agua or water will spread out any blockages, and it seems quite a good dissolver because it has enzymatical action, right? And it's all those little blockages that have the parasites around them in your body. So this would be an excellent way to come off alcohol. What you would do is basically you would just stop alcohol cold turkey and eat this for like a month, and you would just wake up and you just eat it like all day. If you needed something heavier in your stomach, I mean, you can put this in smoothies too, but if you need, you would just eat it and you would just gulp it down, and it would circumnavigate your body, and that's the only way that you get out of the feeling of pain. Obviously, you can speed the process up if you're grounding, because then you get the positive charge off your body, and that's what your pain is, it's positive charge. And the blocks, you know, with parasites around them in your body and stuff, because you're dehydrated drinking alcohol all the time, are going to, you know, hydrate now. They're going to anionize, which is stopping the blood clotting in the area. Basically, the whole block is going to, you know, begin to be able to remove, and the block is what creates a, you know, in my shaman vision, I see light, and that positive charge. I see the pain emanating off blocks in people's bodies as well, even my own. And so, you know, all the pain that you have is positive charge, and if you eat something like this, it would really flush the body, and you always have to flush if you're coming off something, because you'll have a lot of these little bacterial colonies associated with whatever you were consuming, and all these blockages in the body, and as they try and grow their colonies, they like to block the flow of, you know, nutrition and life to your cells, because then they consume your cells and so on and stuff like that. Let's not get too deep into it, but this is how it would work. You know, this is how you would come off alcohol really well with this fruit, in my opinion. you just want to eat it like all day for like a month. So you would find one of these trees, and this is the point of why we don't just want to sell these a little bit at the shop, you know, like we want to grow fruit trees everywhere, because then you can be on, I don't know, out the front of your work there might be a tree, and you walk into work and you can have a handful, and then at lunch you have a, you know, a bag full, and you would want to take quite a lot if you were using it to get off alcohol. Literally, I would eat it all day if it was me, until I didn't feel like I wanted to drink anymore. So if I felt like doing that. So there might be a potential for the researchers found no potential for drug interactions with the H. dulcis, which means that it should be safe for people taking prescription and over-the-counter medications. And yeah, look, it's really like a food class thing. Even though we're trying to use it as a medicine, the reason I said to get off alcohol you would eat it all day is because it's like a food. You can't eat like really hardcore medicine plants all day. I'd like to see you try and eat andrographis all day. You won't be able to. It's too bitter, it's too crazy. You can't eat bay leaves all day. They're too crazy. You're not going to eat olive leaves all day because that's too nuts. So they're really medicinal leaves, you know. This is like a food grade thing. It's not so much of a heavy medicine plant, in my opinion. We're just trying to use it as a medicine, you know, always. We're trying to look at these food plants. That's the whole idea of my $30 Bandit or $50 Bandit food plant teaching series videos here. So not just, you know, to spread the information and stuff, but to, you know, realize how we can do what the father of medicine said. He said, make, you know, your food your medicine and your medicine your food. Hippocrates. He's the father of medicine, they call him. So you might want to listen. And it's these kind of fruits, if we grew them everywhere just on the street, you can just imagine how much more bliss we would be in, because like these things make me always feel good after I eat them. Like I said, there's no contraction in the viscera from good alkaline tree leaves and fruits. It's always the other way. It's always a relaxed viscera. The body enjoys the fruit and the leaf, like it uptakes it, it seems familiar to it, natural. It doesn't cause inflammation like synthetic products do when they go through your body. So really, obviously, these are the type of things we want to grow in the street, because if you ate this like I've eaten this, it's very delicious, and they call it dulcis, which means sweet in Spanish anyway. Dulce is pretty interesting. They've called it that because it is a sweet fruit. So that's it there. What you do is you just grab it here and you just start to pick off these little seeds, and then that's all edible. All that part there is edible. You just pick off these little seeds here off the end, which I also really like I said in video 1, because then once you pick these seeds off, there's nothing inside, there's nothing stopping you really chomping down. And you know that's a factor when we've changed bananas from having seeds in them to having no seeds, because we enjoy to just wolf it down sometimes. So this is one of those food grade medicinal things that you can make that's like a medicinal in your life. It's going to help you, it's going to have medicinal effects, but that you can eat as a food every day, probably for months and months and months and years, but I dare say decades. Because that's what I mean. It's a food grade. It's like reishi mushroom. It's a food. It's not just like people might think that's a medicine and you take it in a little tablet. That's really not the way to be having these things. These things are the things we should be eating most of. This is what our diets should be constructing of if we were smart. Anyway, it's not like we have a smart society. Alright, over and out. $30 or $50 Bandit.